and a bunny.
And carrots.
Yes, and carrots.
Well, as always.
Good morning, good afternoon. We're glad to see you here, and we're glad that you were able to join us on this Easter Sunday. And for those of you of the Jewish faith, we hope that Friday was a good day for you all, and that the celebration all weekend with family and everything is going well. And even regardless of how you're doing it, whether you're Zoom calling or Skyping or FaceTiming, it's all in the works this weekend.
And we don't know whether you're spending time with us today or you're trying to do. Actually, it's an interesting story because people have this feeling of loneliness because of all the social distancing.
Absolutely.
But we're always going to be here for you. And Judy's family figured out something that is going to become a tradition.
Should I show that?
Well, you'll talk about it.
Okay, so it was really.
Can we cheers?
Oh yes, we have to cheers to get our show started on the right foot. Cheers to you, and happy weekend, happy Easter.
Okay.
This morning I have coffee, so I'm being gingerly. It's hot.
And I have my decaf tea. I usually have my beer, but I had a lot of tea left over, so
yeah, me too. Later. I'm like, I made a second cup of coffee. Well, I don't want to switch yet. So anyway, yes, it was a fun story. My uncle called me out of the blue, and it's where I think I mentioned this to you even last weekend that people that you don't hear from for a year or 2 years, except just to wish each other a text of happy birthday. And so he called, and I said, "What's going on?" He said, "Well, I called to entertain you, and I want to know if you know about Zoom." And I said, "Yeah, I do." He said, "Well, how would you feel about doing a Zoom with the family?" And I don't know if I was the first person he asked, but
probably
it worked out so well. It was just really, really, really cute. So I had to show you what it looked like when we did a Zoom call with 9 different sources. And the guy in the lower right-hand corner with the sunglasses on is on the Zoom from Guam. He's the nephew that I told you guys about, who is on the Teddy Roosevelt, or was on the Teddy Roosevelt.
No, he's in a hotel.
Yeah, now he's in a hotel. So we had Guam, we had Massachusetts, we had a couple from Florida, we had one from North Carolina, we had 2 from Indiana, and we had 1 from Vermont. And it was really, really,
you
really
can see
fun.
It was almost like the Brady Bunch gone terribly wrong.
Yes, and we talked about that too. So we were making jokes and looking over
up at the screen.
And actually, it was funny because everybody was in a different position. Even when that picture was taken, when you and I were looking at it, we were in a different quadrant altogether.
Yeah, then we knew, yeah. But the point of all of that is there are ways that we can continue to connect, which is really powerful. And even though my family and your family are spread out all over the place, so maybe you can't visit family today. You may have your Easter, Passover celebration or meals, but you can share that virtually. Mm-hmm. Which is one of the great things that technology has done for us.
And it was so much fun that we all decided we're going to do it again this coming Friday.
Because the first 45 minutes of people having technological problems.
Oh my gosh, it was so funny.
Uncle Dave kept disappearing.
We're all just sitting there staring at each other, waiting for the next person to come on. Yes.
I say, Dave, don't touch anything.
And the sources kept disappearing and then popping back on. Oh,
Dave's probably watching because he called me this morning while you were getting ready.
Okay.
And I said, we got to,
a broadcast
and about half hour says, oh, okay. So he probably heard me just diss him, saying, don't touch your phone.
Thank you, Cynthia. It's nice to see all your names. I wish we could see your faces, but I feel like we know you at this point just from recognizing the names. Mm-hmm. And be sure to let us know where you're from, where you're at, or at least where you're watching today, because it's so much fun to see all the cities pop up as we do the broadcast. So tell me about the video of yours that dropped yesterday on YouTube.
Is I think I called it lesson 6, but it's part 4 of the 4 C's. So it's all about carrot weight and weight versus size, and how does carrot weight affect the price of a stone, and how did the term carrot weight even come into being. So all of those questions will be demystified for you. And that's on Paul DC Gemstones, my YouTube channel. And it's called the Colored Gemstone Academy.
Okay.
How about you?
So you guys know that I drop my my YouTube videos, my workout videos on Monday mornings. But this time, since I've had a couple of YouTube videos running weekly, I decided tomorrow I'm going to change it up. Because you guys can go on and do those videos anytime and mix it up, do arms and then legs and then abs another day. And I even have a stretching one coming out in a couple weeks because that was requested. But tomorrow, I decided to do something that's a little bit indulgent.
Okay.
So we're going to put on some of those pounds.
And drink while you're doing it?
And then we're going to take them back off. So I wanted to show you this just for fun, to give you a preview of the recipe that we're doing. Okay.
Speaking of, and the previews, that's a foreshadowing.
Okay. So watch this. I know you weren't able to see much of that, but you're able to see that.
Wow.
And that was 3 minutes on broil after 23 minutes on bake
at 350.
At 350. Yes. Let me show you guys here from here. Because look at how beautiful that is. Now, you can eat it when it's hot like that. Now, obviously, it's
not that
bubbling, so you let it calm down. But I wanted to show you what we typically do is just serve it with some
crackers, chips. Yeah.
So,
speaking of the foreshadowing,
yes. Guess what just came?
Our aprons, our official in the kitchen with Paul and Judy aprons.
Isn't that hysterical?
Yes.
So having gotten these, I think that's going to mean that we're going to continue to do that many more eating and fixing and preparing recipes
and we have
for you
and we
put
have
them on camera.
We have Linda's goat cheese appetizer, which is the next thing we're going to shoot. But we have something we shot previous that's going to be. Is it my breakfast for you?
I'm still in the editing process of the breakfast one right now. It's
anyway,
so funny.
There's our logo.
Yeah. So.
Let me take that.
These straps are so well. It's good, I guess. They're so long, it's easy to take off. So that's fun. And actually, it was cute because we said, okay, well, when we're ordering our aprons,
yes,
if we get a third one, the third one's going to be a third of the price of the other two, and we'll get free shipping. So we actually have 3. So if we ever have a guest, like the person who's going to be joining us this afternoon, who is a great cook herself, we can put an apron on our guest. Yeah, a guest apron. Would that be fun? So those are some of the things that we have coming up. But speaking of our guest.
Yes.
You want to give the introduction?
No, you do it. Drum roll, please.
Well, she asked me to be on her show because she has a Facebook Live show that she does on a regular basis. And it was such an honor. And we were both former QVC hosts, and that's how we met. And so I decided that she would be a great guest to have on our show. So we said, when I got in touch with her, she said, oh my gosh, it would be an honor. Absolutely. So without further ado, let me introduce you to Patti Reilly.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you? Happy Easter to both of you. You look so great.
Happy Easter to you too. I saw earlier that you had your little cup of joe, so we want to toast you with our drinks today.
Cheers.
Cheers. Happy Easter and welcome to in the kitchen with Paul and Judy. I'm not going to be able to keep all these shows straight. Sunday Funday.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here. I got dressed up for the occasion and it felt so good to put makeup on and do my hair.
You know what? I know what you mean. Actually, Paul alluded to something that you and I spoke about. The funny thing for everybody else who's watching is we almost have as much fun, if not more fun, doing the practice session during the week than we do the show because we just cover so much ground and we're catching up because we haven't seen each other for so long.
Yeah.
But Patti, you and I were talking about the fact that this has been a really weird time for everybody. And Paul was even saying, you kind of feel lonely.
Totally feel lonely. Did the Zoom, but I'm super excited. I'm going to get right to it. I need you guys to do something for me, both of you.
Okay.
You need to download an app called House Party.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay. When you download that app, we can get on there with a bunch of people like Zoom and you can play games.
Oh, really?
It's so much fun. It's so much fun. But yes, so I'm learning new things to do thanks to my friends and innovation. But we did Zoom the other night. We had a happy hour, which was great. Not as many people as yours. We had like 7, I think. And that definitely helps, like being able to see and hear from everybody. Really nice.
Yeah.
No question. But what you were going to say?
No, I was just going to say I'm very fortunate because I have a best friend and partner that we're 24/7 together. So we don't have I don't have the same perspective
Yeah.
Of sitting alone in the house and saying, I wish I could get together. Of course I miss playing basketball with the guys and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But that's why we wanted to say there are alternatives, and you don't have to destroy it. You can always watch Judy's workout videos, and that'll bring you out.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
Patti does online workout videos too, don't you?
I do. But Judy, I have like something that I wanted to show you, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
I don't know. This is like going way back. I was into Zumba, and I got actually certified as a Zumba instructor.
Yeah.
I never taught a class, but have you ever done like kind of like more dance workouts before?
Mm-hmm.
Because I wanted to. Do you like it?
Yeah, I do.
All right. There's this one. This is going to be hard. I would rate this at a level 10. I'm going to show it to you.
Oh wow! Yeah. How fun! And
doesn't that look fun?
Yeah.
Yes, and I bet the music's awesome.
It's so good. But I got to learn those steps.
But we're expecting it the next time. We have high expectations from our guests.
I mean, but I do F45, which thankfully they do like the live workout. So the crew that I was meeting with at the studio, our noon crew, they're actually showing up on the Zoom. So it's kind of cool. You still feel held accountable to show up, and people are calling each other out, and it's fun. Thankfully, that's been a lifesaver.
My bar studio has done the same thing. They're doing classes on Zoom, and because you can use Zoom for free for up to 40 minutes, she said to us, now make sure if you come into the class that you've done your warm up ahead of time, and we're going to rely on you for your cool down afterwards. So we want to focus those 40 minutes on a good workout for you. So I think a lot of people are being very, very creative, which is really cool.
I think so too. Thankfully, there's a lot of walkers in my neighborhood. It's a great walkable neighborhood. It always has been. I walk my dogs every single day, so it's just interesting that now that everyone's home, I've never seen so many people ever at any one time in my neighborhood. I've lived here for almost 4 years. So now you're like clearing the sidewalks, moving over for the runners, dogs, like the strollers. It's all happening. So it's very funny.
I don't know if we mentioned this, but where are we calling from? Because we always have people check in.
Atlanta.
Atlanta, okay.
Yes, I live in Buckhead.
Sorry, I wasn't sharing.
Yeah, very nice area there, Buckhead.
Beautiful. And I need to introduce you to my best friend from back when I was living in, was it Madison, Wisconsin? Or was it Grand Rapids?
I was your best friend.
Back when I was living in Madison, Wisconsin. Actually, I think I met her when I was in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I lived in Granville too. And she lives in Buckhead, and we've been in touch. Yeah. And she's a fabulous girl. Her name's Barbara. I'm going to let her know about you and about her, because she loves to work out. She's always looking for new ideas, and she also is single, and she has a doggie just like you.
All right.
She's the one that turned you on to the Vitamix, right?
Yes, and she's the one who turned me on to making smoothies in my Vitamix. Yeah.
Then she's a keeper.
Yeah, you guys would love each other. That would be so much fun to get you connected. How cool is that?
Yes.
So
I love that.
The other things you were talking about, or we were discussing, to kind of help people who are watching, and you can probably see all the comments that are coming in and saying hi and how good it is to see you today in Easter. But what do we, you and I were even saying, sometimes we're getting up in the morning and thinking, well, do I want to get up, and what's today going to be like? Would it even matter if I, if full disclosure, I finally took a look at my eyebrows and thought, oh my God.
I'm right there with you.
My hair on my chin come from? Why haven't I been paying attention?
Oh my God.
But you know what I mean? Like, those are the things that we've kind of let slide because we haven't had to pay as much attention to them.
You can't get your hair cut.
Right.
Yeah.
So well, what has it affected you?
Absolutely it has. Yes. Definitely not sleeping well at night for sure. That's probably been the hardest. That's why I was joking when I put a post on my Facebook page about playing Candy Crush until like 2 a.m. Just anything to like wind down. But I'm trying to be I'm trying to create more of a schedule for myself. So I know I mentioned this to you, Judy. I had read a quote that said, remember, this is a global pandemic. It's not a competition. It's not a productivity competition. Mm-hmm. And that really hit me because I was really being hard on myself. I'm like, so for right now, I've been working in the garden because that brings me the most joy. And there's a lot of work that needs to be done out there. And I just feel like the time goes by, it feeds my soul. I hear the birds singing. It's amazing. So that's been great. The exercises helped. I've started reading more books. And then I also just finished my first ebook. So
good for you.
Tell us about that.
So yeah, I've been meaning to do it for a while. So a lot of people always ask what I'm doing now. And I've been consulting ever since I left QVC, which was in 2011. And so what I continue to do is I've been coaching, which I help people like kind of brand their business, be more specific. It's very much, what we did at QVC. It's like, who is this for? Who is your product for? What do you stand for? How is it going to make my life different? And it's just kind of an overarching basic content ebook that gives people who are starting their business or who need to reinvigorate their business, because I'm sure you both have witnessed it and experienced it yourself. We have to kind of rebrand now, right? To fit social media and competition online. And so that's what the ebook is about. So right now it's being proofread. And then that will be a freebie that I'm going to share with people to kind of get the word of mouth with my business out.
Good. That's excellent. Good for you. You talk about motivating and you're a self-motivator. And that's the thing that I think we're all kind of finding is that because of that guilt. And I love what you said about reading that this isn't a competition, because sometimes I do feel like, okay, I'm not doing enough. I need to be doing more. What should I do that makes me feel productive? I made my bed. That's a start. You know what I mean?
I put pants on. We're good.
Well, you guys laugh about that, but there was a psychologist on one of the news programs that was talking about something that really hit home for me, because I remember when I left QVC, was it 4 months? 3 months before you did?
Yeah, 5 months before I did. Yeah.
And
oh my gosh, he was so productive. It was amazing.
Well, but one of the things, like Patti just said, I got dressed.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was treating that. I was writing my book at the time, and of course, we had our little dog that I would walk in the morning. But I treated it like it's a job, and I think that was what the psychologist was talking about. That change your outfit, go to a different room, and whether it's answering emails, don't. We've have our slug days. We would openly admit that. Sometimes it's like
Patti and I were talking about that too.
So we were slugs. We'll sit in front and binge watch for it. But I'm forced to cook a lot more, which has been fun. But treat every day like you have a purpose. Yeah. And dress for that purpose, and then change the scenery for that purpose.
And kind of like you said, Patti, you put on your gardening clothes and you go out.
Yeah.
I put on a old t-shirt beat up and I get my paintbrush out and I start fixing things that have needed to be touched up around the house for years, So
I put beachwear on and grab a beer.
There you go. That's a plan
for the hot tub. I said, "Is that what you're wearing on Easter Sunday?" He said, "Well, I guess it's not what you want me to wear on Easter." I said, "I love it. That's what you."
Exactly.
Patti, your mom wrote in. She's watching Carol and Reilly.
Oh, she is. Well, we don't talk every day, but obviously I miss my family. You were talking about that, Paul, too. Like I'm this close from making out with my dog. So really scary times for me.
So long?
Little TMI, but I'm just sharing with the group. So when I talk to my mom, I know she definitely feels for me being here. But like you said, I think what you said, Paul, that really hit me was don't use the word job. Get up with purpose.
Yes.
That was good. I love that. I love that. Get up with and just feel purpose. And I think, I don't know, that hit me and that feels good. That feels better because there have been days where I just haven't known what to do and have felt lost and like at the end tried to like what did I even do today that made any difference? And but instead of beating ourselves up, we just need to be kinder to ourselves, I think, because this is unprecedented. None of us have ever experienced this. And I don't know, just taking it day by day, but with purpose if we can.
And when else can you be praised for doing nothing? Like if
I know, right?
If you don't go out, everybody's proud of us.
Yeah. I mean,
You didn't get out of the house today. Good for you.
We set the bar low, and then I squirmed under it. But it is what you make of it, I think.
Yeah.
And some people have even talked about, well, this is the thing. Did you always want to play guitar? Well, pick up a guitar and start learning to play guitar. Or I like what Judy said also about making the bed, because there was an Army general, was it?
Or Navy
Admiral that wrote a book, Make Your Bed.
Yeah, and he
I know what you're talking about.
For that, he had given a graduation speech, and it was that was what went viral, was that part of the speech. And I'm sure the rest of it was amazing, but it was just, at least get up and make your bed, because no matter what else happens during the day, as far as getting something done or accomplishing something or succeeding or failing, you made your bed, and that is an accomplishment, and be proud of yourself for that.
So true. Well, one of the things I started doing today was, speaking of purpose, when I started to go through photos, because I actually know that I have photos from when you had your wedding party that you invited all the hosts to when you had the party. Couldn't find it, but here's what I did find. This is me in this exact shirt.
It still fits.
So this was like 10 or 12 years ago. This is me in this exact shirt. So yeah. And then also, this was my original QVC guest pass from March in 2000.
Cool.
Just sharing some photos. This was me in high school.
Oh, wow.
So let me put my head.
Yeah,
always with the hair. And then
how many cans of hairspray? How many cans?
Exactly. Lots of hairspray, lots of sun in, Paul. And then, here's a good one. When I went to the QVC auditions, so I was just doing this on my own. Nobody knew, like, really QVC. It was 2000. They were like, what? And it said, bring a headshot. This was the headshot I brought. My aunt took this headshot. Everyone else had professional headshots. This was mine. And then this was my very first QVC headshot.
Nice.
And then we ultimately landed there.
That's so great. Somebody just said, Craig just said, I miss you being on QVC, Patti.
Oh, that is so sweet.
How many years were you there?
11.
Oh, that's right. You said 11 years. Yeah. And then you moved to California.
I moved straight to California. I love California. But it was just too far away from family at the end of the day. Like, it's so expensive to get, the flight is long. It's expensive to get there. And I wanted to buy a house. I wanted to be closer to family. So 5 years was good. And I still have friends there, which is great.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
5 years in one place. Having been a military brat, I moved around constantly. So
did you really?
5 years would have seemed like an eternity for me.
Right?
Well, this is now your longest tenure in a house.
Yes.
Even before that, the place in Tampa.
7 years was the longest I'd ever lived in one house, and we've been here now 8. So
okay.
I know.
No, that might be the same for me, Judy, actually, because I've moved like 18 or 19 times. We weren't Army brat, but my dad was in sales, so he would get promoted constantly. So that's why I got Chatty Patty and Smiley Reilly all through high school, because I had to learn to make friends, because I moved so much. Yeah, like in the primary years, and then also in high school, we moved a lot. So I was always like, and I also got most talkative and most gullible. So that too. But anyway.
I think that's so funny. When most gullible was actually a category.
It was. They made me look at the ceiling, and they wrote, "The sky is falling," and I was like, "Oh my gosh, okay."
Yeah, so that used to be the thing, right? If you looked up, everybody looked up, then everyone says, "Well."
Yeah, right. Yeah. That reminds me of a story of looking up and with a whole lot of people. Because when I was 4 years old, and this is probably a good thing to tell on Easter Sunday.
What is that?
I remember this. This story. I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was 4 years old, and I was in a Sunday school class. And we were doing the song, the rains came down and the floods came up, and the rains came down and the floods came up, and the house on the rock stood fast, or something to that effect.
And everybody was doing it wrong.
Everybody was doing it wrong, Patti. All the kids were saying the rains came down and the floods came up. And I was doing the rains came down and the floods came up. Because in my little 4-year-old mind, the rain came down from the sky and the floods came up from the ground. So I was pointing at the source, and everyone else. And my grandmother, who had taken me to Sunday school that morning, said, I knew exactly where you were at all times.
And by the way,
amazing.
fast forward, before Judy and I even started dating.
Yeah.
We were sitting in the host lounge.
We were all working together
at our
then,
computers.
Patti. You were there when we were there at the same time.
Okay, yeah.
And I said something about it being Thursday, and Judy said, no, it's Wednesday. And I said, no, I'm pretty sure it's Thursday. She says, no, I know for a fact it is Wednesday. I said, well, I don't know. We get paid on Thursday. I just got my check. So
Oops.
she's like,
Egg on my face.
Oh, that is so
rains came down
in
and
the
the floods.
Yes, exactly.
You know? Hey, there's got to be something said for that.
That's so true. Honestly, to know the days lately, like I just knew it was Sunday because I had this. But otherwise, I'm completely clueless as far as days go. That's another
I was writing a post the other day and I said TGIF, although these days every day seems like a Friday because
It
you're right,
does.
they kind of all run together. So it takes a lot to kind of think about what's going on and be able to jump right back in when they say go, you know.
Well, I think another interesting thing is how will things change? Inevitably, they probably will. For example, we've never cooked this much. We always supported our local establishments because basically I'm a lazy chef. So
Maybe that'll be your
the name
title.
I love that.
But oh yeah, and when you do watch the next thing Judy posts, don't tell Gordon Ramsay.
Oh, okay. That's for tomorrow, right?
So my cousin Dan Mason has written in Happy Easter. The boys just finished a 3-acre Easter egg hunt.
Oh,
After
how
45
fun.
minutes, they tapped out on the last 6.
Well,
Happy Easter, boys.
and Uncle Dave
That's
was
so
telling me
fun.
about Dan's tradition with that this morning, and he said one year there was 1.5 feet of snow.
Oh.
Are
And
you
so-
serious?
Up
Yeah,
in Vermont.
so he had made these like rabbit feet
Oh my God, that's so
and
cute.
and did all the things, and the young kids were like mesmerized.
Oh, that is adorable. Do you guys remember, did you used to go to Longwood Gardens?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, they had the best Easter egg hunt and Easter brunch ever.
Oh, I never went on
Oh, it was
Easter Sunday, but used to go there all the time.
amazing. I love botanical gardens. We have one here, not too far from me, but that one was exceptional, I have to say.
It sounds like it.
Yeah,
Yeah, they and that was a big. I mean, every season, Christmas, Halloween,
they put it on.
they did
Oh,
put it on.
yeah.
So good.
For sure.
We
Yeah.
spent more time at Dilworth Town and their wine.
Oh yeah, Dilworth Town. I mean,
I miss that.
wines.
Definitely miss that location.
That's actually where I first learned anything about cooking.
Really?
Yeah, when I was at QVC, I never, I'd make macaroni and cheese for the kids or spaghetti. But when you go to QVC, invariably you're going to have to do some cooking shows or cookware or anything like that. And they sent us as hosts, at least the ones that weren't already cooks, to a chef from Philly that used the
Good. That's
chef
cool.
kitchen from the Dilworth Town Inn. And it was amazing. It really was. And to watch how a chef creates when he's not in his home environment and has to improvise, which is what I kind of do as a chef now. I improvise.
That's cool. I definitely missed that class. I didn't do the cooking. I just did the eating. I remember I think it was either my 5th or my 10th anniversary. Do you remember Paul Radkovich from Balboa Desserts? Maybe or maybe not. But anyway, he would make desserts. He lived in Newport Beach, California. And he asked me what my 2 favorite desserts were. And I said cheesecake and creme brulee. And he made a creme brulee cheesecake.
That's fantastic.
Oh, wow. Yum.
That was ridiculously good. And I don't know why it doesn't exist today. Or maybe it does, but it was so good.
Wow.
but the fun part was the eating part.
Well, I think that they might have thought you already had promise, so you didn't need the class. I was lost.
Oh, well,
That's what it was.
that's probably what it was.
You do a lot of cooking though, Patti. So do you have, we should have you send us a recipe that
sure.
you love, because
Okay.
not only are we doing a lot of cooking, we're taping something almost every day, if not every day, every other day. So we'd love to have some new ideas as to things to cook. And what we do have a recipe from one of our, I'll call her a viewer, who sent one in. We have all the ingredients. We just have yet to make it because we still have to set up the cameras and get it done. But
Yeah.
We don't practice ahead of time.
Nope.
We just
Oh,
look at
you
the
don't?
No,
No.
we just go.
Okay. I love that.
So we'll do that if you have a good recipe you wouldn't
Yeah.
mind sharing. And if Carolyn, your mom, is okay with it. If it's a family secret, don't send that one.
No, she would be mortified because she is a great cook. My mom is a great cook, but I don't cook as much. So, but what I will say is, like, I try to make things that are single and individual. So I have this great turkey meatloaf recipe that I actually gave to my mom. She's tweaked it a little bit, but instead of making a loaf, I actually put it in muffin tins and make like little meatloaf muffins, I guess.
Yeah.
Because then I can freeze them and then just take, a couple out as needed. But I shred vegetables like zucchini, mushrooms, Worcestershire. So I put as many vegetables as possible to keep it nice and moist and get my veggies in. And so I definitely cook with a single person in mind. So they're going to be like little Scooby snack sizes.
Well, but that's a good lesson.
Scooby snack.
That's one of Judy's mantras, I guess, for lack of a better word, because we're small eaters. And the danger in cooking for yourself is all the tasting and doing all that stuff.
Right.
But yeah, freeze what you don't eat, or leave it for leftovers for tomorrow. Even when we do go to out to restaurants, we eat half of our portions. We bring the rest home.
The frugal
So
gourmet.
smart. No, but it's good because it's so easy. Like, I put on like 10 pounds over like between November and January. And it's just I was traveling. I don't eat well when I travel. I wanted to find out what you guys do when you travel, actually, for food and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
If you're strict, but then also, so I put on, now, thankfully, it's come off, but it's been a lot of hard work. But it's just so easy to put on weight as we get older, and I can't handle it. And so I need better eating habits when I'm out with friends and things like that. Or when I'm invited to a business dinner. I go to Texas once a month, and they go to like these big steakhouses, and it's huge family share meals. And I always feel, well, I shouldn't feel that. Well, I eat a lot. When I'm there. I don't know what to do. I eat a lot.
Well,
I don't slow down. And it's like, what is my problem? I never eat that way when I'm home. It's so weird.
Our routine doesn't change when we go out. And the funny thing is, the joke when we grew up was, the starving children in China, eat what's on your plate.
Right.
And that you still get that pressure from people, I think, when you're gathering with friends. And especially there's some that just like, well, why are you eating so little? And I'm like,
it's an insult.
Right. I'm like, because that's what we do. And in fact, we had a recipe delivered to us from Kimberly Wells. It was a tortilla soup. It was really, really good. And then she saw that I had half of it left in the bowl, and she's like, what's wrong?
You don't like it?
I said, no, this is awesome. I'm going to have it for lunch. And I did.
Yeah.
But that's how we roll. And whether we're going out to a really expensive steak dinner, we either split it, or if she decides she wants to have the fish the one time and I'm still going to go with the beef, we eat half of what's on our plate, we bring the rest home.
And if we go on a cruise, and when that's allowed again, we definitely will, because it's one of our favorite destinations.
Yes.
Cruise rules. And the cruise rules are that you're not, once you get to your room, because of course you have all your luggage that you have with you when you first get on the ship. But once you get to your room and you've unloaded, you're not allowed to take the elevator anymore.
Nope.
You have to take the stairs. So regardless of the floor that you're going to or coming from, you're getting steps in every day. And I had gained weight on a cruise one. I think I gained 7 pounds. It must have been a pound a day because it was a 1 week long cruise. And I gained 7 pounds. The next time I went on a cruise, because you can eat 7 times a day, the midnight buffet. Well, who wants to miss that? So I decided, okay, I've got to change my ways when I go on another cruise. And I actually lost 3 pounds the second
Did you really?
Yeah.
With the walking and just discipline and
walking and discipline. And also
my
philosophy is to use portion control. Like, in other words, don't deprive yourself. If you want to try that creme brulee, have a bite or two, but then say, okay, now I know what that tastes like. That was really good, but I can be done now. So it really is just kind of a matter of how bad you want to stay the size you are now, and how much do you love the clothes that fit you now.
Well, that's why. Yes, that is so true. Because I did do the cleaning of the closets, as everybody in America has done.
Yes,
by now. And I was thinking the same thing, like, looking at some of the clothes that obviously need to be donated, that sort of thing. But then others where I'm like, ooh, girl, you think you can take over that?
Yeah.
Like,
when you had that hairspray in the back, then that was appropriate, but not now.
Yeah, exactly. I actually have a question for you, Paul, if that's okay. Because I've always been curious about this. I went to Jamaica with my mom 2 winters ago. It wasn't a cruise or anything like that, but we flew there. But I've only been on 1 cruise in my life. And when they sell like the gems and they're such, to me, they seem like such good prices.
Some are and some aren't. I mean, that's really that's the truth. For example, we often get off and we'll go to the ports of call, and of course our thing is, well, we can make it for less because we have manufacturers all over the place. But most of the time, and I threw Gordon Ramsay under the bus. I can do that to the cruise lines too. But when you go on there, they have agreements with many of the vendors in those ports of call. And when they have like a person usually who that's their job, and they say, here, this will get you 10% off or 15% off. Generally speaking, the things in those, yes, you get the duty free, and that's a bonus. But most of it is not really what I would call deals.
Okay.
To be honest, like what we would do on any of the shopping channels that we worked over the years, we would give a far better value for Larimar, for example, than what you got in any of those port stores. It's just true. It is an expensive stone, and it's one of the rarest stones because there's so little mining that goes on with that. But that said, they charge a pretty penny.
That's interesting you brought up Larimar, because on Gemistry, I love that bracelet.
Yeah.
Wasn't that
ridiculous.
It was incredible. I wore that around every day until I had to send it back to the manufacturer.
It was so pretty.
Yeah.
I mean, that was for what we used to sell a ring, maybe. On the air, get a bracelet. It was just awesome.
Yeah. Well, we have some other, and I always hate to kind of give something away and then not see it come to fruition, but we have some interesting phone calls happening this week around jewelry. So
you do? Okay.
We'll have to let you know. We'll have to give you the inside scoop when we have a little bit more information.
I'm going to also toot Judy's horn, because we already established she dances to her own drum beat. But no, she is now a vendor. What do you call it?
Oh, an influencer
on Amazon.
Yeah.
And what that means.
It's exciting. I just found out this week.
What that means is there's certain things, like even when we're cooking, that I've fallen in love with, which you're going to learn on the breakfast one whenever that falls, like the bacon pan and things like that. And now we'll be able to say, if you want to, here's a link, get it from Amazon. And it's
because people are, I'm sure with you too, with your beauty products, people are always asking you, what's your beauty secret? Tell us what you use. People even ask us, what kind of equipment are you using to shoot your videos? Do you do your own editing? What kind of software do you use? So now we're able to say what those things are and tell people where they can get them. So it's really exciting.
You did the storefront then?
Yes, I'm actually working on it now.
I have it up. I promoted it at Christmas. I've updated it a few times, but it is great for that because, again, like you said, when you get those questions, it's nice to just have it there. And I just load everything on there. Once you get used to it, all you just have to do, even anything that you shop for, you can just say add to my list, which is great.
Yeah, I have not done that before. And actually, there was even a section of it that said, have your friends add their list. And I wasn't sure
I didn't know that.
But you know what it is?
Yeah.
But it's really more for, I think, baby showers and bridal showers and birthday
Oh,
presents.
right,
So when
right.
you're asking somebody to share their list, it's so that you can get what they want.
Oh,
And
right.
so it's not kind of what we're talking about. But and then of course I have to research it online, try to figure out why would you want to do that.
Yeah, but
Got it.
yeah, the reason I'm so excited about it, there's certain things that through trial and error that you learn, like even in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And like when we did our first baked brie video, which was of course a disaster, which made it funny. But now I've modified so much of how we do it. It's a completely different meal almost. And
that we need to shoot that video again.
But then, I bought a specific pan for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I like it so much, but I found out, well, you can actually get those, what are they called? Cast iron,
Seasoned.
And when we did the first one, it wasn't pre-seasoned and it was a mess in the oven.
Oh,
to season
the
it and
whole
all that.
house smelled.
So-
all right. That's next level for me. That's like, I'm not,
Yeah, but that I can now share some things that say from the mistakes that we made, like, this is what you should get. It's the best price out there anyway.
yeah, right.
And it's
Right.
better than what I bought originally.
Yeah. So
Well, you know what?
learn from our mistakes.
There, and that's good. And the other thing though, because now, see, I don't have, like, you guys have Gemistry. Is that your business, or
Not
is it like,
not really.
Like,
Well, here's what was going on.
okay, because I wanted to,
As Judy was getting tugged more and more in fitness, her first love, in that direction. And then I was actually contacted to go reunite with the three amigos up on Shop HQ. And that was supposed to happen on the 2nd,
3rd of April.
3rd of April.
3rd and 4th.
3rd and 4th of April. And of course, now this happens, so that's all on hold. So don't know when and if it's going to happen. But if that doesn't come to fruition, then we'll go back and do our own thing. But I still love that Judy's doing what she has been so inspirational, not just to everyone else, but to me.
totally. Oh gosh, right? I couldn't imagine living with that fitness buff sitting next to you like that. But here's the reason I bring this up. There's something, if you've seen live streaming on Amazon, have you seen it?
No.
Okay, you guys need to do live streaming. So there's an app for your phone.
Okay. See it?
But you might be qualified. You two might be qualified for it. I'm not as of yet, because you need to have like the registered business. But then you guys can, like Maria McCool. You both know her, right?
Yes. Absolutely.
Maria McCool does live streaming on Amazon. Amazon has a section where it's like QVC.
Yeah.
It's just very small right now for
Yeah, I
me.
heard they were starting that. I just haven't seen it myself.
I have heard about that.
So download this to see if you guys qualify for that, because I would love to see you both on there, like Judy, whether it was, the mat and the bands and the whatnot, whatever, some kind of package.
Sure.
I don't, here, look at me. I'm like, or Paul, whether it's the jewelry, that would be so cool.
Yeah, it would be neat. I now that I'm at that next stage or next level of learning all about it, now I can look further into it and immerse myself.
Totally.
What did you say the name of the app was again?
Yeah, it's actually called Amazon Live app.
Okay.
And it says, welcome to Amazon Live Creator. But I got like blocked at some point from moving forward. I can't remember exactly what the steps were to see if you, because I don't have a product right now to sell. That kind of thing. So
yes. Okay. And that may have something to do with whether or not you're able to move on up, or if you have a website or a landing page where people could go. There are all kinds of, I think because so many people are into this now and their own businesses and their own videos, that they're having to be more selective as to who on it, right? So
no, it's totally true.
Yeah,
we've learned lots of lessons along the way.
I know, isn't it amazing? And like, that's why I think when I was talking about doing the ebook, because even moving into like the creating the content, like where you guys were talking about, Judy and I especially have been talking about platforms that we're using, and I hired a virtual assistant, Paul.
Oh yeah.
You can do that now. Some of those tasks that I'm not good at, which is like the behind the, back of the house stuff. Like the technical. There's certain things that I just not good at. It's not my forte. So there's places where you can hire somebody. You just do a phone interview. I have an interview with her tomorrow, and just different things like that. But people don't really know this whole part, like the camera, the connection, the what do you need? And it's honestly, it's not as expensive as some people think it is to do. I'm just using like a Logitech webcam, and I have a ring light, and that's about it. You know?
Yeah, it can be pretty easy, or it can be as sophisticated as you want it to be.
Well, Judy's background was doing the editing and things when she was in college, and then her first jobs out of college. I knew nothing,
we had to do it all.
So Judy's productions are really spectacular, and I have a one camera shoot for mine, and it's okay. And I'm going to do my.
I mean, but look, this is the one that's on now. Like it says Amazon Live, so that's happening right now.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then people, they put their comments on there and stuff. So anyway, we want you back on live TV.
It's a brave new world.
It is a brave new, and we're learning all the time. Oh, this has been so much fun, Patti. You're so sweet to join us on this Easter Sunday. And I know that you made our Easter that much more bright and happy. And that's why I decided to create our little virtual Easter bunny and carrot motif.
I love that.
And it's helped with the carrots, I guess.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. This is a ball anytime. And when you come to Florida, we're going to put one of our new little in the kitchen with Paul and Judy aprons on you, and we'll let you cook something, and we'll film it, and we'll learn a thing or two.
I love it. I can't wait. I love you guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Love you too, Patti. Talk to you soon.
Okay,
bye. Cute. That was fun.
That was fun.
That was fun. It's so much fun to connect, as I'm sure you guys feel. Yeah. And find out what everybody's up to, and what everybody's doing, where they've been, who they've kept in touch with, what they're working on, how they're getting through this time that we're all trying to get through together.
And you have somebody lined up for next week.
I do. And I was telling you about my nephew who was in the Zoom call. I should show you that again because it was just so funny. But that was my family Zooming just like 3 nights ago, and we're probably going to try to get into a habit of doing this every Friday night. But speaking of the distance, we have somebody who's going to be joining us from, I think she's in Hong Kong. Yeah. So if you remember any of the Chinese Jade shows that I used to do on QVC all those years ago, and her name is Yim Tom, and it's going to be midnight her time, noon our time, so same time that we do the show. And I said, we're happy to change it for you so it can be more comfortable time-wise. She said, oh no, I'm up. So she said, that's perfect. I'm used to it, especially doing business with people in the United States. So that'll be our guest next weekend. So that should be fun. And you'll be sure to watch my YouTube channel tomorrow morning, and you can see In the Kitchen with Paul and Judy and a really delicious, very fattening appetizer.
And by the way, if you have not yet watched any of mine on Paul DC Gemstones, it's the Color Gemstone Academy. And if you feel like, well, I'm getting there too late, you can always go back to the playlist. They all live there. Just the newest one just dropped yesterday, and that's on carrot weight. But if you missed the color, the cut, the clarity, you can always go back and watch it.
Yeah, and that's what's nice. So even if and I even did a video, and we talked about this once before, of how you can watch your YouTube videos on your smart TV. So all you have to do is find the YouTube icon. I did 2 of my videos yesterday. I got my weights out. I wasn't shooting a video, but I decided, you know what? I need to up my own workout. Instead of creating my own, I'm going to watch some of mine and do the workouts along with me. And so I got through the first one, like, okay, yep, that was pretty. And I was really green. It was the very first video that I had shot. So I said biceps instead of triceps, and I don't know, abs instead of knees or something. But
I can't believe you do the right instead of left and almost never make a mistake, because she's doing the mirror image
and trying to do it for what you see. But anyway, so I did the first workout and I thought, okay, that was good. I've still got some energy left. Let's do another one. So I kept the same weights and I did the second one. And in the middle of the second video, I had to put the weights down. I thought, oh my gosh, you can really get a good workout here. And then I picked them back up, and then I did the stretching afterwards. But You can string them all together, which is
Yeah.
that was funny. He said, "You mean you worked out to your own video? You worked out to yourself?" Like, yeah, it was actually kind of fun and hard. So we've got more coming out this week.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
And we haven't said this in a while. Don't be afraid to share this broadcast to your friends and
Absolutely.
neighbors.
It'll give them a little half hour of entertainment.
Yeah.
Who knows?
And definitely, we appreciate the subscribing to the YouTube channels because that helps us out.
Yes, I've been having fun. There have been more and more comments coming through on my workout videos, and I'm really enjoying them. In fact, you guys inspire me as to what my next workouts are going to be. So someone said she had done the butt seriously one, where we do a lot of the work at the kitchen counter. And she said, I'd really like to see one that still focuses on the butt and the hips and the thighs, but it's a floor workout. I said, are you a mind reader? Because that's what's coming out in 7 days. So next week, we're going to be working on that lower half again. So
That will be fun. And then you have stretching videos.
stretching video that's coming out in 2 weeks. Yeah. So,
All right. Well, we're going to get to Linda's recipe at some point in the next day or two.
okay.
And that
That's
will
a
be
delicious appetizer.
the goat cheese appetizer. I'm looking forward to that.
Me too.
Especially because she paired it with a red wine.
How did she get the appetizer to you in case somebody wants to send in an appetizer or any kind of recipe?
Oh, it
that
was
you'd like
on.
to share?
I think it was on Messenger, like on
Facebook.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And so she.
And then we just printed it out.
Yeah, and she wrote some good instructions, and sometimes we take liberties with your
Your recipe?
recipe. Sometimes we'll change something here or there.
If we practiced it.
Yeah.
Sometimes we
No,
don't practice
No,
it.
we don't practice it, but I might still say I'm going to add a little of this.
Judy's writing in. She says she works out with me every day. Yay! I love that. I love that.
You
That
mean
makes me so happy.
You wrote into yourself like you
No,
did your
it
own
was
workout?
a different Judy.
Okay.
Bye, guys. We love you.
Thank you.
Have a great week.
Happy